Three.
Alright, so for our starter. So why is it important for citizens to know the powers of Congress? Yes, Summer.
So we know our rights and to be informed about stuff that's going on.
So know the rights and be informed about what is going on. Yes.
It's also important for us to know how laws are made, but also how our government functions, because since it's our government needs to understand how it properly works.
Yes, so government function and how laws are made. Those are very good answers. How do the non-legislative powers of Congress relate to the idea of checks and balances in the federal government? Yes, Summer.
I was just going to go ask our teacher.
Sure. Anyone have any ideas with how do the non-legislative powers of Congress relate to the ideas of checks and balances in the federal government? Yes.
So this allows Congress to oversee actions of the executive branch. So it ensures that no branch becomes too powerful, and we don't want that.
Okay. So it helps with the idea of balancing the executive and judicial branches, right? So remember, Congress has the powers to hold hearings as well as impeach government officials. So like the president and even some people of that top up there, because not just the president, and elect and kind of approve or deny presidential appointees. So yes, that is the idea of the checks and balances for the non-legislative powers. What is the difference between an authorization bill and an appropriations bill? Yes.
So an authorizations bill kind of establishes, extends, or modifies agency to programs.
Okay.
While an appropriation bill will provide, like resources or funds to like establish programs.
All right. So authorization is where you have basically it's authorizing laws, that kind of stuff, or appropriations, more about funds and money. Yes. So today we're going over 6.2, chapter 6.2, investigation and oversight. Our objective, students will be able to analyze the importance of Congress' power to investigate and identify how Congress exercises its power to investigate. Our central question is, how does separation of power influence the work of Congress? So we're going to go over chapter 2, right, chapter 6.2, right this second. The power to investigate. Investigations may be conducted by standing committee or a select committee. Investigations occur for many reasons and can lead to legislation and reforms. Congress committees have the power to subpoena witnesses, punish perjury and contempt, and grant immunity. Congress must respect witnesses' constitutional rights just as a court does. So witnesses can do things like plead the fifth or other constitutional rights that Congress has to respect. The power of oversight. Legislative oversight is part of the system of checks and balances. Congress may require reports from an executive agency or have its work studied by a congressional support agency. The legislative veto and independent counsel are no longer available to Congress. So Congress cannot have a legislative veto or an independent counsel. Okay? So, with that being said, we're going to dive in a little bit more to your favorite activity, an assignment. So we have a choice board. Since y'all like the last one, we will actually have one for chapter 6.2. So you're going to see this PowerPoint. What are congressional investigations? Each slide, so slide 2 and 3, these are videos. You can either left click them and they should be able to come up with something. If not, just start the PowerPoint and it will be able to click on it from there. So for 4, you're going to select 2 videos. So out of these, there's the first investigation defense program, the Titanic, stock market, Pearl Harbor, national, Japanese internment camps, domestic communism, organized crime, Watergate, or 9/11. You're going to pick out of 2 of those which one you want to do. Once you do that, you have slides that correspond to this. So let's say you pick first investigation defense program. You're going to take notes about what happened, who was involved in the outcome of that committee. Okay? That's going to be the same with pretty much all of them, is that they're going to correspond, like Titanic, again, it corresponds with that section. Okay? Then once you get down to 15, then you're going to click on that video and answer this question, and you have 2 more questions after that. Okay? That is going to kind of help do that. There's corresponding videos with basically everything. You can use the PowerPoint. It is in assignment. You can use the PowerPoint to answer the questions and turn it in that way. Or you can turn it in Word or any other way you want to, as long as you turn it in. Okay? While you are working on that, I'm going to hand out your guided reading, and you also have a quiz on McGraw-Hill. Any questions, comments, or concerns? Nope? Then let's get to work.